up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and on this video we are going to be diving deep into deal sourcing, and you're going to be learning exactly step by step how to find investors, find deals and bring the two together, making a big fat fee. Now this is going to be an interview where I'm going to be interviewing two very young guys, 20 and 21 years old, who are making £15,000 a month. I mean, damn, like that's a salary that's an annual salary for some people. They're making that a month simply from finding deals and passing them on to investors. Extremely successful in deal sourcing. The property guys, welcome to my house. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having us. Thanks a lot.
So firstly, how did you guys meet and how long have you guys been in property?
Well, we went to school together, so we've known each other since we were about 5 years old. Obviously left school, and then Ollie was saying to me all the time, we got to get into property, showing you to me all the time. And I think we made the jump in August, went to your house, discovery day, and then that's the future.
Discovery day into a deep discovery of deal sourcing.
That's it, yeah.
Great. So how did you find about property? Like where did it kind of come from?
We've kind of been interested in investing as we've grown up, kind of looking at how to make money, that sort of thing. We always know we want to be kind of successful and earn a lot. And yeah, just looking at your YouTube channel, probably from years ago, and just I kept watching it.
How many years have you been watching the channel?
Probably about 3-4 years.
Wow, so you were literally a teenager.
Yeah.
Watching the channel, and yourself as well.
Yeah.
And we met when you were like 20 years old.
Yeah, that's it, yeah, 20.
And you came down to my house on a discovery day and joined the academy.
Yeah, we joined
on that day, yeah.
Yeah, come down, learnt a bit about it. Learnt about the academy, made a little plan of what we was going to do.
How did you get the money for the Property Investors Academy?
Well, we were working previously, so it was just from saving up over a couple of years, just out of sixth form.
Right.
And just pretty much spent it all on the academy.
Yeah. Nice. And what were you working as prior to getting into property?
So I was working in a trade, I was a painter, and also worked at a gym as well, doing like 7 days a week working, so the hustle was there. And then pretty much from then it's a couple of months in the academy, and then I dropped mine. Still at the gym for a little bit, but yeah, just went full time.
Yeah, and you full time now as well, property?
Yeah, full time as well, yeah.
And what were you doing prior? What was your job?
I do strongman competitions, so I was doing that, and I was also personal trainer, and I've got like an online coaching company.
So you want to be successful in property, you decide that you're going to go all in, you're young, you got energy, you're hustlers. Why did you choose the strategy, packaging and selling deals, and what is deal selling, and why did you choose that strategy?
So it just seemed so lucrative, there was so much opportunity to make a lot of money, fast as well. There's obviously a lot of strategies in property that are long-term wealth builders that take a lot of time to make money, but deal selling was obviously the quickest, and yeah, essentially we just jumped into it. Obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, deal sourcing is finding basically investment deals for investors, packaging it up, getting an offer accepted, getting the best possible deal, and then just passing it on for a fee for ourselves. There's
a lot of misconceptions around deal selling as well, and there's also a lot of misconceptions just around property in general. Like people will see your story and see how within a matter of months you're making so much money, and they'll be like, no, property takes years to. But it's like, well, it depends on what strategy you're doing. And I say this at the very beginning on the academy. It's like, look, guys, if you want to grow long-term wealth, and you want to build up a pot of wealth, then you're going to have to do things like buy, refurbish, refinance, going into development, commercial conversions, and that is very slow. That's going to take a long time to build up wealth. But if you're wanting to get quick money, it's not going to be passive, it's going to be bloody hard work, you have to roll your sleeves up, but if you want to make quick money, then you can do deal packaging, you can do rent to rents, and then the money that you make, you can start putting into your own deals. And that's what you guys have been doing, ridiculously successful. I mean, what do you think separates a successful deal sourcer from the ones that just watch a few YouTube videos, have a bash and fail? What separates successful and unsuccessful?
I think it's kind of like the education, really. The education and the mindset, because some people, yeah, like you say, just watch YouTube videos, learn a little bit about property and then just try to sell deals, but they don't know all of the background information, they don't know how to do proper due diligence, they don't know really how to sell a deal, how to cover themselves, the legal side of it, all that sort of thing. It's really the education, to be honest with you.
Which is what we're going to try and condense and bring out as much of that education that you and put it into this one video for people watching on YouTube. So let's start from the beginning. You want to be a deal seller. what's the very first steps? If you were starting again from scratch and you just like, I've got no investors list, I've got no money, I've got nothing, I just want to get started, I've got no deals on the table. What's the first, obviously, aside from getting educated, assuming you've got that knowledge, what's the first steps that you go and do?
I think the first step is just telling everyone what you do, because people need to know what you're doing to be successful. You can't just keep it to yourself. You can't just try and go under the cover. People have to know. And that's the main thing we found, is just telling everyone. Even just going, getting your haircut, just tell people what you do. You don't know who you're going to meet.
Come on, you've not had a haircut.
I am soon though, shaving it off, but yeah. But like, Ollie met someone the other day at Tesco, just got chatting, and now we're speaking to them properly about things. It's just anyone just have a conversation. You don't know what they could bring to you.
Tell the world that you're a property investor.
Yeah.
That's nice. And I think as well, sometimes I found that as well. Like I did some of my early deals with some of my family members, and I'm not from a wealthy family, but just by telling people, you don't know, some people are like, oh, actually, I know someone that's got a bit of money. I know someone, or this person's selling their house. And because you're telling the world that you're a property investor, suddenly that's when things start to come to you. Okay, so you tell everyone that you're a property investor, it lands on deaf ears, the barber and the hairdresser doesn't care. Then what?
Just keep going.
We found, just keep going. But we found what we were missing is kind of like a brand. So as Deal Sourcer, we decided to, we learnt from you, we needed to build our brand, make people know who we are more. So we started pushing things out on social media. So we started using TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We've just made a YouTube channel, and really, just
what's it called?
The Property Guys.
I'm one of the first subscribers, man. So brand, you guys went for the brand, The Property Guys. Why did you choose? And your names?
I'm Ollie, and this is Jamie.
Jamie, yeah.
So why did you choose to be known as The Property Guys?
We just wanted to be set aside from other people, rather than just being kind of generic. Wanted to just have our own personal brand. We just kind of went for it on the day. We're like, come on, we're going to rebrand. What should we call it? It's pretty quick, to be honest with you. It
Just on the spot.
Just came to us. We both agreed on it. Yeah. Sounds
Okay.
good.
So first thing is tell everyone what you do. Second thing is create a brand. And what does a brand mean? How can someone just create a brand?
Well, it takes time for starters. It's not just something that happens overnight. It's something you build on. But it's for people to relate. So if people see you as your name, it might not leave as big of an impact on them, rather than seeing The Property Guys, for example, rather than just being known as Jamie and Ollie, the Deal Sourcers.
And I guess you're just putting out content. So one of the things that I've seen you guys doing so well, and I've got huge admiration for what you've built, is everything you do, you're documenting it. Even when you're going out, you're viewing properties, you're documenting what you're doing, you're putting stuff out there, which is really good for your journey. And you can look back on it and you can see your growth. But also, it goes back to telling the world what you do. You're not just telling the people that you know, but you're also now putting it out there on a platform. You guys have got deals from TikToks. Tell me the story of that guy that got a deal from TikTok. What happened?
Yeah, so we got a message on TikTok one day. A guy's father, he come down ill, and so he wanted to sell some of his portfolio. So he wanted to sell one of his buy-to-lets, and he messaged us. He just said, do you think you'd be able to sell it? And we spoke to some of our investors. We managed to sell it within a couple of hours.
Nice. And how much did you get paid for that in total? What was the profit that you got?
We charged him $2,000 for that deal.
So someone got in touch with you from TikTok and said, you're The Property Guys. I've got someone, my dad or whatever, selling their house. It's not on with an agent yet. It's off market. Could you sell it? And you sold an investor without even using an estate agent. What's the difference between an estate agent and a deal sourcer?
A deal sourcer is trying to get like the lowest possible price for their investor.
Yes.
And an estate agent's trying to get the best possible price for the seller. Yeah. So it's a bit of a difference there in that respect.
That's huge though.
Yeah.
Because if you go to an estate agent and you say, hey, I'm looking for deals, they're thinking about their clients, which is all of their sellers, and they're trying to get the highest price. So they're trying to drive you up. Yeah. Whereas when you're a deal seller and your client is the investor, so you're trying to drive the price down. And the difference between knocking 10, 20 grand off a property pays for your finder's fee.
Exactly, yeah.
Which brings me to the next question. How do you know what to charge as a finder's fee? So if you're selling a deal, how do you work out what to charge and what's fair?
Yeah, it is hard. There's no set answer, but we kind of say, on average, you're looking at 1 to 2% of the house price. But depending on the deal, say you've got a deal that could make 100 grand, you might want to charge more. It does just depend, but on average, you're probably looking at around 3-4 grand for a basic deal, really.
Okay, so 3 or 4 grand's about average, 1 to 2% of the purchase price. So if you're buying a house for 200,000, you might expect to pay around 1 to 2% of that. What kind of deals are investors really looking for? Because, and I know this is different for different people, but some deal sources tend to sell, buy to let, some sell rent to rent, some might sell option agreements or development deals. What is it that you found really investors are actually looking for in 2022?
Yeah, well, it's essentially everyone wants a BRR right now, and especially BRR to HMO or SA, because obviously rent to rent's really intriguing to people, and that's just using the same concept but buying one, so doing it up, making a HMO. HMO especially, everyone wants one, just a BRR to HMO. Obviously, commercial valuation, and it's just going to be worth so much more.
What is it that made you guys decide not to really focus on selling rent to rents?
Rent to rents are very time consuming. They can sometimes get a little bit messy as well. They do take a lot of work to get a rent to rent, whereas using that time, we thought in our interest it's kind of better to put it elsewhere to maximise our returns.
And you were saying to me that you think there's a lot of deal sources that are selling rent to rent, but actually they've got a landlord that's agreed to a company let, but it might not necessarily be a good rent to rent deal.
Yeah, I think people get too excited with rent to rents as well. They'll finally get a company that agrees a company let, and then they'll think, oh great, I've got an amazing rent to rent. When really, when you look at the figures, the returns aren't always great. So
yeah, and the really good rent to rents, I mean, if you found a really good rent to rent that's like no money down, controlling the property, you probably just keep it yourself.
Why would you sell it? Yeah.
And everyone's got their niche, and there's no right or wrong. But your niche is really looking for buy, refurbish, refinance, ideally with also combined HMO or service accommodation, so that not only are you pulling out all or most of your money, but also you're recycling your money, but also you've got a really high lucrative rent. So if anyone doesn't know, what does buy, refurbish, refinance mean? What does it look like? And what would be a typical example? I mean, tell me, what was the last deal you sold?
So essentially, BRR is buying a property that is preferably below market value in quite a bad state, doing a big refurb on it to add the value, get it to its new value, and then refinance on a loans to value mortgage 75%, which means you can basically pull all the money you've put into the project back out. So essentially, you got the property for free in a roundabout way, and then you're just living off the passive income with the rent. Yeah. And that's why people love it, because it is like getting a property for free, which makes it great. And in terms of the last deal, our last deal was a conversion, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a 3-bed terrace house. There was planning on it to convert it to a two-bed flat and a studio flat. And we actually spoke with the council on that deal. We managed to get some grants for it. Well, they were payable back, but we managed to get 40 grand grants for it so that we could do the refurb, and they were only payable back when you go to sell it. So our investors were refinancing the property, and then they was going to just take the money off of it monthly. So it was great for them.
Wow. And that's the thing. That's what you're paying a deal sourcer for. You're paying a deal sourcer to do all that research, to line everything, to package it. Yeah. You're not just selling a Rightmove link. Yeah. And you could sell a lead. You could say, oh, I've been tipped off that this property is going to, that the seller's going to accept a really good offer. But that would be, maybe you give me 100 quid for a tip-off. Yeah. But what you're selling is not a tip-off. You're selling a package deal where you've had an offer put forward, an offer accepted, you've got a power team lined up, you've done all the research. What happens when deals go bad? What would happen if someone reserved a deal, maybe even paid you a finder's fee, and then the deal fell out of bed, or the seller got a higher offer elsewhere? What do you do when things go wrong? Because things do go wrong.
Yeah, they do. And you just got to be upfront to people and just not try and get your way out of it. Things happen, they do happen. Obviously, the contracts are in place, you just got to refund them and just explain the situation, really. It's happened a few times. A few times we think it may have happened, it was close to happening, then it came back and we sold the deal again. It
definitely does happen. You do. That's why you have the contracts. Like, you'd probably offer a replacement property, so you'd go find a new one. But yeah, you just have to be upfront and honest with them and speak to the investor.
And I think that's one of the things that most people don't prepare for properly. They don't. That you can look at what happens if everything goes right, but you also need to think, well, hang on, if things go wrong, if the investor decides to pull out, what happens? What happens if the seller pulls out? What happens if the property, if you've missed something as a deal sourcer? Because as a deal sourcer, it's not your job to pay for surveys on the house, and that's the investor's job. Your job is to package and present an opportunity, and then you pass it to the investor, who ultimately needs to take responsibility for, you know, getting their own solicitors, getting their own surveys and searches on the house. But sometimes things happen. There's a structural problem that was missed, or there's you know, they've plastered over some really serious damp, and you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at it. And then when the survey comes up, and you realise, oh my goodness, and then of course that's a problem. So what would you do in that situation? What would you do if you sold an investor a deal, they were really happy, and it was a nice little, you know, cheap fixer-upper, and then it turned out that the house was riddled in damp. It was going to cost tens of thousands of pounds to fix, and it had just been all covered up by the seller, and the survey came back, and there was a big problem, and suddenly the property was not profitable anymore. It wasn't viable. The investor's really upset. They call you up. I know this happens. What's the solution? What happens?
Reputation is important, and keeping those strong relationships are important. So we would just offer a replacement. So we'd go out and find a like for like.
And that's all in the contract, so that when the investor pays you your fee, they know they've got a 14-day calling off period. If anything goes wrong after that, there's all the different ifs and buts, so the investor knows up front so you're not arguing basically about it. How important do you think expectations are when you're selling a deal?
You've got to make sure they're clear at the start. Everyone's wants to know what's going to happen, and it's important as well to, like, you've got the 14-day calling off period after they've paid you, not to spend that money in any way, because if anything does happen, you need to give them a refund. Yeah. So things like that are important, definitely.
The money's in the bank, but it's not in the bank, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You've got to be careful.
And you guys are registered with the Property Ombudsman. Yeah. You've got anti-money laundering in place. You've got all the contracts, insurances, all set up to protect you from if things do go wrong.
It's definitely important to be covered.
Obviously, things don't go wrong a lot, and a lot of the time you won't need to use the insurances, but they need to be there for if anything does happen.
Let's talk figures now then, because you guys are absolutely steaming ahead. So, what you know, you recently did a post saying how we're making 15 grand a month from deal sourcing, and everyone went crazy. And I was like, right, guys, you're on the academy, come and talk. Is that true? 15 grand a month?
Yeah.
Well, last month it was a little bit more than that, actually.
What was it last month?
Just over 16.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. And that's literally just from packaging and selling deals.
Yeah. Just that's it. That's
Yeah, packaging and selling deals. We took on bespoke clients as well. People that don't know, bespoke services where you work more closely with the investor, understanding their specific needs, and you go out and look for certain properties for them. So we took 2 of them on. Also got a project oversee, which was that conversion. We're overseeing that project when it starts.
Okay, so you're also doing project management services.
So they can be totally hands off.
Yeah, that's what we. Right. That's kind of the
that's the upsell.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing, because it's like anything. It's like if you go to McDonald's and you say, you know, hey, could I get a hamburger? And they'll say, would you like fries with that? What you're doing is you're saying, hey, we've also got this service and we've got that service. So smart.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are you spending the money on?
Well, we're kind of, at the moment, we're putting a lot of it back into the business. A lot of promotions. We're getting a video done, like proper video for one of our properties that we sourced.
That's smart though, putting it back into the business.
We're investors too. Like, we've taken advantage of the crypto dip at the moment.
Bought some Bitcoin. Yeah, good.
We're kind of just building up a big pool of cash so that we can do our own projects, and that's kind of what we're looking into now. We found like a really nice BRR project where you can have all the money out and quite a lot of profit on top of it as well.
See, I remember speaking to you guys at the Freedom Forum Intensive at the beginning of the academy, and we talk about when you're deal selling, you need 4 things. You need deals, you need investors, you need skills to how to sell and actually make it happen and run the business, and you need contracts.
Yeah.
If you've got those 4 things, there's no reason why you can't make, we say, 3 to 5 grand a month. You've gone a little bit above that and making like 15 grand or more above. However, once you learn how to package and sell deals and you've got those 4 things, what you can then do is you've got deals, investors, contracts, and skills. You can find a deal, find an investor. Instead of selling it to them, you can joint venture with them, which means that instead of them paying you 3-4 grand and having the deal, when you've got a really juicy deal, you're going to say to the investor, hey, would you like to put the money in? We'll project manage it, we'll take care of it, and we'll go 50-50 on the profits. That would be the obvious, logical next step for you. Now you've been in this game for 3-6 months, and you're selling a lot of deals. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, feel exactly that.
That's what you're basically doing now.
You've got to be progressing, haven't you? So that is the next step.
So you're going to start building your own portfolio, joint venturing.
Trying to build our wealth that way, yeah, definitely.
And that's crazy because most people will save up loads of money working on a job and then put the savings into a house. You're working smart, making 15 grand a month, but even so, you don't have to put that profit into your own deals. You can joint venture.
Yeah, use other people's money. Yeah. It's going to be in their interest as well because they haven't got the time to do this. We've got the knowledge and the time, so we run everything, and then they take the profit on top of it.
Building an empire. So what's the strongest reason that you're doing this?
Well, there's a few reasons, isn't there? Just to prove we can do it, be the best, be to the top, and kind of be set aside from what the usual is really. Just to go get a job, go to university, do the usual thing. Yeah. Just want to be different and unique in ourselves, really.
We want to be financially free. We want to have the ability to do whatever we want, literally whatever we want. Yeah. And for me, like I want the money to be able to push my sport, like my strongman sport, push that as far as I can. So yeah. So
basically, you want to have the money to have the time to pursue your passion. And you're about to cut your hair soon as well, bro. Yeah. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, well, been growing it for 2 years. Got a bit fed up with it recently, to be honest with you. Obviously, look a bit more presentable in the property game as well. So yeah, I'm shaving it off for charity, Campaign Against Living Miserably, which is men's mental health, which is obviously a big issue in today, and we've taken steps to kind of resolve that. So yeah, shaving it 27th February, 2 weeks time, and yeah.
Nice, congrats. And why is that charity important to you?
Well, it's, to be honest with you, something a lot of people go through and they don't speak about it. I've gone through it myself, and you realise that there's a lot more people going through it than you think. And it is hard to speak about, and that's why we need to start bringing more awareness to it, kind of get the word out, make people speak about it. And it's harder for men to speak about it, people know that. So just trying to raise awareness.
How do you feel that getting into property has impacted, you talk about mental health and stuff like that. Has it had any effect on your day-to-day lives or how you think, or what's it, so on a personal level, how's it affected your lives?
Yeah, it's certainly affected them positively. There's always something to wake up to. There's always a reason to wake up now. There's never not. There's always something going on with us. So there's always a goal in mind.
Always busy doing something, yeah, and you've got that passion that you're working towards. Yeah, because for us, like, we're nowhere near where we want to be eventually. So we're just starting really. So you've got that goal, you've got that passion. Every day you're moving forward to something, and you're not sitting there dwelling about anything. You're just pushing forward.
Yeah. I think we also know we are only limits as well. So there's nothing stopping us in that respect. We're not limited by anyone else in a way. So in a job you might be limited by certain factors, but it's only us. Yeah. We control us. So
you control how much money you earn.
Exactly. Yeah.
You control what you do when you get up. Yeah. What does an average day look like for you?
Well, to be honest, when we started, it was a bit hard to get into routine, obviously, because we've been used to a job and kind of working that way. Yeah. But nowadays we're up and at 'em about 8 a.m. in the mornings. If we're in the office, we're there like 8 till 5, kind of working till the agents are shut.
So you guys have your own office now?
Well, we say office. It's in my house. We converted a room into a big office room.
Nice, yeah. Nice. I like how you treat it serious though. That's your office.
Yeah, you need the environment, don't you? That's key. That is key. You need that workspace.
So do you spend more time in the office, on the phone to investors and agents, or on the road actually viewing houses?
Probably a mixture of both, to be honest. We do it in sections. So when we've got deals on the go, we'll be working on them, packaging them. We might have to go meet people at certain properties, working on those specific deals. But like tomorrow we're going down to the Midlands for the next 3 days. We got some bespoke clients they want deals up there, so we're staying up there for a few days till Friday, just looking for deals. Every day we're going to be in and out of agents, ringing agents.
It must be a pretty fun life.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's different to a normal just office 9 to 5 job.
And you guys treat it so serious. It's like you're not thinking, I'm going to do deal selling and hope to make £3 grand a month without actually doing anything. Yeah. You guys are like, no, we're going to take the business, we're going to learn it, we'll join the academy. You're at all the training programs and on the mentoring calls and sessions and mastermind groups, which is also good for networking.
Of course, yeah, definitely.
And then you're out, bang, doing it, 15, 16 grand a month. Crazy. Do you ever have to pinch yourself of how much money you're making? I mean, how much were you making before to now?
Well, it was the average I was making 3 to 3.5 a month.
3 to 3.5 grand?
Yeah.
So you earned quite well beforehand.
Yeah, but I was working 7 days a week, like all the time.
Oh yeah, you're on 2 jobs.
Yeah, so the hustle was there.
What about yourself? What were you earning before you got into property?
Probably about 4 or 5.
Okay, so you were, again, earning quite well.
Yeah, but it was just constant, always working, and you're not building wealth. You're just getting that money, and that's that.
But now you're earning like 3 times that and doing what you love with also opportunities to scale up and invest in your own projects.
Definitely.
What kind of deals are you generally, I know you said BRR, but like where are you looking in the country? How do you know if a deal's good or bad? You know, talk to me about how you actually find these deals.
Yeah, well, as we said, we've got a couple of bespoke clients at the moment up in the West Midlands. That's where we are tomorrow and until Friday. Obviously, we're based in Essex, Hertfordshire. So where we are, we have had a few deals here, but it's not as good for, obviously, as you know, for property and returns. So West Midlands, obviously Wales as well. And a lot of people are looking right up north towards kind of Manchester, Liverpool, and then Newcastle, Durham, those kind of areas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good properties up there. But as you know, the market's hot, so things get snapped up
Straight away. So that's why we're kind of booking places up there, so we can do it. We can find a property, view it that day, and make an offer and get it accepted straight away.
And you also, I know you get a lot of off-market deals.
Yeah.
Best tip for getting an off-market deal?
Building relationships with estate agents, really.
Right. So they're from estate agents, but they'll pass them to you before they even get to Rightmove.
Yeah, that's it.
And that comes from them just knowing who you are, right?
Yeah, exactly that.
That's because we bought a property, obviously sold it as a deal from an estate agent where we're local to, and now they're always on us because they know we're going to complete on a property.
Yes.
So they're always like, look, we've got this property, it's going on.
The best way to build a relationship with an estate agent is to buy from them once.
Exactly.
You buy from them, you're a customer then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know you're the real deal. They know you're going to complete. So. Yeah.
So, biggest piece of advice for someone starting out before we wrap up, go.
For me, I would say, I said it before, but get yourself out there. Take advantage of social media. It is such a big part of today's society and how everything's going. You need to adapt with the times. And yeah, social media, get yourself out there.
Love it.
It's hard to keep up, but
Yeah.
you need to do it, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say knowledge. Just learn everything. Once you've mastered everything, and then just go out there and do it.
Love it. Are you glad that you took his advice and actually came to some of the programs?
I don't know, maybe, possibly. No, yeah, of course, yeah. No, well, it's life-changing, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it took a while, man. So well done dragging him down.
That's it, yeah.
and it's crazy how life goes.
No,
So
it's mad, yeah.
it's been great working with you guys for the last sort of 3-6 months, and I'm excited about what's to come. So big respect and keep on winning.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Samuel.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, man.
Well done. So there we have it, folks. That's how you package and sell deals and make £15,000 a month. If you want to do the same and you want to come down to the Property Investors Crash Course, tickets on the house right now. They're very limited. But if you want to grab your free ticket, I'll leave a link in the description. Get down. I'd love to meet you in person. I do an interview like this every single week with some of my students. You can check out the whole playlist up here. Subscribe, and I'll see you down below at the Property Investors Crash Course. Peace.